Hello and welcome to Today in the News on Vanguard Live. I am Precious Tripodi. We begin with the front pages of the papers this morning, starting off with Vanguard. Vanguard is leading with NAIRA Notes Scarcity, crunch worsens, bank rations cash across the counter. Driver says customers frustrated as some banks shut ATMs. POS operators jack up charges, say they are sourcing cash outside banks. UNILORIN Covenant Varsity say no fake professors on payroll. EFCC'S VISIT, Dangote explains, assures stakeholders. On page 12, Supreme Court grants federal government exclusive control of all inland waterways. And stories above, an interview NPCL and Port Harcourt refinery, the unfolding success story rehabilitation by Femi Shuneye. On page 5 and 8, we have Humanitarian Ministry, Tinubu orders probe into alleged diversion of 585 million naira into private accounts. PDP wants immediate sack prosecution of minister. And on page 11, lastly on page 11, we have tackle increasing cases of killings, annual task of federal government. We take a look at the Guardian newspaper. The Guardian is leading with federal government in fiscal dilemma over high inflation, low revenue, FX crisis. We can see an infographic showing inflation rates 28.2%, budget 28.7 trillion naira. And on page an editorial on page 12, Pope Francis approval of same-sex blessing. PM pays airlines additional $61.64 million stock funds. You can read that on panorama page on page 2. Towards an inclusive society for people living with disability, 5 dead, 30 others rescued as boat capsizes in River Niger. Tinubu orders probe of Humanitarian Ministry over 37 billion naira, 535 million naira funds, 3.4 billion naira debt. Oyo AG faults Makinde's paucity of funds claim. Worsening insecurity, Anyoko blames the killings on non-prosecution of perpetrators. PDP accuses Kwara senators, reps of diverting federal government's rice. Lastly, on the front page of Guardian newspaper, we have Supreme Court affirms states have no regulatory powers on inland waterways. We take a look at the Punch newspaper. The Punch is leading with Beta Edu. Tinubu vows sanction as anger grows over 585 million naira scandal. Right, it says the president will take appropriate punitive actions against infractions, says the federal government. Airline gets $62 million as the CBN repays bank $2 billion debt. Quadruplet mom leaves hospital after Tompolo's firm pays a 4 million naira bill. You can read that on pages 4 and 5. Manufacturers may sack workers as naira loses 39%. Stories above, lawmakers budget for fresh 30 billion naira for National Assembly renovation. Army redeploys 206 generals, council 120 postings. Omizi, Nigeria's luckiest woman gifted land for 4:50 a.m. cooking. You can read that on pages 4 and 5. School resumes today after Christmas holiday, and of course the children are back, and that's all we can take on the front pages of the papers. Join us after the break. We'll be right back. Well, welcome back. If you just joining me still today in the news of Vanguard Live, I am Precious Tripodi. Joining me to talk about some of the stories on the front pages of the papers this morning is Mr. Ali Mohammed, CEO of Magnet Communications, also former editor of Daily Times and Concord Newspaper. Happy New Year, sir. Good to have you
Happy
join
New
us
Year
back.
to you. I thought you were still on vacation when I came.
Happy New Year to you, sir. Alright, let's delve in. But Nigerians are not really still happy because looking at the situation, we're still battling with cash crunch. And despite the fact that the CBN has moved to ameliorate the situation by suspending charges for cash withdrawals, the scarcity of currency notes in the bank has continued, and it looks like there is no headway for now, and people are just still grappling and trying to find how to move in these times. What are your thoughts?
It is unfortunate that we are still having the problem of availability of cash. You think that we'll still have what is the name of the past CBN governor? Emefiele. You will think he's still the CBN governor, because this crisis started when he was the governor of Central Bank, and it was attributed to the printing of new currencies and the suspension of the old currencies. Unfortunately, the governors went to the bank, to the courts, to compel the government of President Buhari to allow the two currencies, both the old and the new, to circulate concurrently. And immediately that judgment was given, we had enough cash in circulation. But the recent one, unfortunately, nobody is coming out to say this is the cause. That is the situation now. Nobody has come out to say we are having this problem because we have so much problem in circulating the currency. Nobody has come out to give us any reason. That's the sad aspect of it. You go to the bank, you say you want 100,000. The machines are not working. ATM machines are not working. You go into the bank that you want 100,000, we give you 5,000. What can you buy for 5,000 in Nigeria today? Is it food? Is it drinks? It is embarrassing. Government should take a very drastic step to overcome whatever challenges they are facing in ensuring that there is full circulation of the nation's currencies. It is embarrassing that we are, as a nation, we cannot effectively ensure that our currencies are circulating and circulating very well. We have gotten to a level that we now use money to buy money. That is what we are doing now. You go to POS people, they want 1,000 on top of 10,000 naira. They want 2,000 on top of 2,000. Now we are using money to buy money. It's not good enough. For God's sake, it's an embarrassment to Nigeria. It's an embarrassment to the government of Nigeria. It's an embarrassment to the entire people of Nigeria that the people who don't have access to the currencies circulating in the country. There are some people that don't even use the banks at all. The very low level citizens who sell tomatoes, sell okra, they just want to make a little profit for them to be able to have a meal or two per day. So what becomes the fate of those people? If care is not taken, I pray that we don't experience an uprising in this situation. The earlier the government solves this problem, the better. The people are not happy. The downtrodden people are not happy. When we get to the state that we are now, I think we need to be careful.
Some experts are saying that this is a case of economic sabotage and that there is no basis for this scarcity. How do you react?
Well, it's a fact, there is no basis for it. We are not printing money. People are depositing cash in the banks. At least businessmen are taking their cash to the bank. There are some businesses that are done online. You transfer money to the bank and all that. Whatever it is left for the central bank and the other banks to do, they should just play their role and play this role very, very well. They are punishing the people. Because as it is now, if you go to any party in Nigeria today, you see people selling fresh mint NAIRA notes. How do they get that? They sell mint NAIRA notes. I was at a party yesterday. They are selling 100,000 for over 10,000 naira. Mint NAIRA notes. It is sad that people are getting naira from the back door, and it is happening at the time when the same currency is not freely circulating among the people. It's a big embarrassment to the government, and the area will take the appropriate steps to check this bad situation, the better.
Earlier, you spoke about the benefit boys of this situation. That's the POS vendors. How do you think we can address this pressing issues with them? Because once we have this naira scarcity, automatically is like you mentioned, use money to buy money. How do we solve them taking so much in terms of from the money people are just trying to manage from?
From the scenario that I have painted, people selling mint notes, it means the central bank is releasing some money to the commercial banks, and the problems are with the commercial banks that are holding on to such funds for trading purposes. It is not impossible. You sit down and find out, how do these people selling currencies get the brand new notes? How do they get it? It must be from the banks. If it is not available in the banks, you won't see these people selling money freely at parties. And I'm not talking about just one person. At the party that I was yesterday, they were up to 7 with big bags. So there is a kind of sabotage at some level of the circulation of our currencies. If people can get it and they are selling at cutthroat prices, 100,000, they want 15,000. That means if you give them 100,000, they will remove 15,000 from it. It's criminal. You are selling the currency of the nation at a point that the same currency is not circulating. There is sabotage somewhere. The government should address the root of that sabotage. Very important.
All right, moving on. Now, the President has ordered a probe into the alleged diversion of 585 million naira into private account by the Minister of Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Alleviation, Dr. Betta Edu. What's your take on this?
It is unfortunate that those people got to power less than 4 months, and we are having this sad situation. It's a big dent on the image of the government. It's a big dent on the image of the minister. By now, I expect the president to have ordered the minister to step aside for proper investigation to be conducted into this scandal. But the minister is still there. How do we investigate somebody who is still holding on to power? It is a big dent on the image of the government. And the earlier the government knows this, the better. The insinuation is that they are stealing this money for somebody in government. And it is unfortunate that we are experiencing this at a time we thought that we have seen the last of this kind of criminal activities going away with the last administration.
Already, Nigerians are really angry about the situation because, when the new government was coming into power, one of the things they said they were going to do was to look at how to, reduce the sufferings on Nigerians, and they spoke about through palliatives and conditional cash transfer and all of that. And they see a ministry that's supposed to be in charge of this, this whole thing, involved in, something like this, and we're told that there's going to be an investigation and we should just look at it. It begs the question of what exactly is going on. Is corruption something that can never leave like Nigeria? Is it something so hard that to find people that would come to an office and say, okay, we want to stand by the rule of law, we want to be people with integrity and ensure that we come with equity and a clean hands and all of that. What do you make of that?
Your question has come into 2 segments now. Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs was set up to ensure that the downtrodden people in this country benefits from government largesse, and through the transfer of some funds to the vulnerable citizens of this country, through distribution of palliatives, especially since when the subsidy on petroleum products have been removed, and this spiked off a rise in the price of petroleum products. Government have been saying that they are distributing subsidies. I don't know if any of you have received such subsidies. It shows that the money is not being channeled to where it is supposed to be channeled to. And this is sad. You are stealing the money of millions of Nigerians, the money that is meant to save the lives of millions of Nigerians. Vulnerable people, you have turned that money into private money. It is sad and it is unfortunate. When you are talking about whether it is difficult to deal with the issue of corruption in Nigeria, it is obviously becoming a difficult thing, because corruption in Nigeria seems to be an hydra-headed monster that is difficult to deal with. How? If somebody steals money, he has the money to fight back whatever efforts you want to make to track whatever he or she has stolen. That is the sad aspect of it. Once somebody has gained access to government money, assuming that he or she stole, because it has become a she thing now, he or she stole 10 billion, you will earmark 2 billion for court cases, legal matters that could come up in the process. And so that is why it is appearing as if corruption is difficult, because if a thief is exposed now, he has over 10 billion and he has separated 2 billion to be given to those who are likely to come and investigate, to be given to those who may likely to prosecute. At the end of the day, there will be what they call plea bargaining, refund a part of what you have stolen. And that will be done, and the person will be set free. For as long as we allow that process, it will be difficult to fight corruption in Nigeria. In some countries, once you have been proved to have stolen money, it is summary execution. It is draconian, you may say, but it is giving some solutions to the problem of corruption in the countries where such acts are practiced. I am not saying that we should adopt that system, but look, from the independence of Nigeria, we've had various organs that can check corruption. In the police, we have the SIB, Special Investigation Bureau. In the various acts, police acts, there is provision for the fighting of corruption there. If that provision is being used to fight corruption, we won't have EFCC today. We won't have ICPC today, because the police was not up to the duty of fighting corruption. We now have EFCC. We now have ICPC that are doing what the police should have been doing. Despite the presence of ICPC and EFCC, we've been having some successes in the fight against corruption, but that success seems not to be enough. People seem to be ready to sabotage every effort in fighting corruption in this country, and such people, I think, whether a woman or a man, should be taught some lessons. What do you want to do with billions? I keep asking. Somebody said it's because I don't have 1 billion. If I have it, I want 2, I want 3. I am not that greedy. What are you doing with billions? Government money, and you are able to sleep. A woman, it is sad. It is sad.
Yes. So let's move on to our next story. Now, according to reports by the National University Commission (NUC), they listed like 100 professors from some universities across the country and identify it to be fake, saying it did not emanate from the stables, of which UNILORIN, Covenant universities have said.
I read that list, and most of those universities are denying it. So we need to know the source of the national, whether it is truly the list truly came from the National Universities Commission. You know, there is nothing that is virtually impossible in Nigeria today. You know the fake certificate scandal. People studying in Republic of Benin for 6 months and doing it in Nigeria with it after a degree. You see, I think we really have to upgrade our level of security in terms of people having access to fake documents, falsehood, stealing of money, and all these terrible crimes going on in the country. It is not giving us a good image at all. Somebody said to me that I want to, is the CEO of a company, said he will set up a committee to investigate the certificate of all his staff. It is embarrassing. I have been a graduate for years. I have used my certificate, and somebody for whatever reason now want to set up to investigate my certificate. It is because of what is happening. We didn't have all these terrible things when we were growing up. It is because some morals are lacking in these days and times. That's why we have found our level, our situation so bad in this country. When we were growing up, your parents want to know your friends. If you come home with a pencil, they want to know how you got it. When I bought my first car and my daddy got to know that I bought it, I came to Lagos to ask me. I said, but I'm working. He said, your salary is not helping. I bought the first car was 2,400 naira. And my father said, no, your salary monthly is this. And I told him, I did this, I did that. And he was satisfied with my explanation. That is not the case today. Some parents want their children to be young boys so that they can bring money to them. At the end of the day, what they bring to their parents is nothing but shame. Because they get caught, they get paraded, some of them get killed in the process. And you now drag the name of the whole family to the mud. I saw somebody that was caught with drugs yesterday. And I asked myself, don't these people feel ashamed of being paraded like this? What will happen to the names, to their names, and the same names that their children are answering? It is unfortunate. We have to fight the evils in our society. We didn't experience this when we were growing up. People call me old school. Yes, I'm happy, I'm proud to be an old school man. Because those days we didn't have what. Sometimes I sit down and start wondering how we got to this level. So we must inculcate discipline and morals in our children. That is what is lacking today, and it is giving us all the problems we are having. Look at the killing in Plateau State. In which religious book is it written that people must be killed? To accept, it is a man that is alive that will accept any religion that you are propagating. A dead man is not there to accept whatever you are propagating. That is the sad aspect of it.
All right, let's touch on this one before we go, and it's about the very famous woman Momizi for about 2 days now, and he just took a tweet from her on Twitter and on X now. Let me just read the tweet. It says, "I've been too lazy to wake up and get his lunch ready, but the day he told me a colleague brought 2 spoons so he will eat with her was the day I set my alarm for 4:50 a.m. This was responding to a tweet from a lady that said that there's a lady that wakes up at 5 a.m. to make her husband lunch for work. And so Mommy Z had responded to that tweet, and
she woke up at 4 a.m.
She started to wake up at 4:50 a.m. when her husband told her about the colleague that brought 2 spoons so that he will eat from the food, and she felt like before they will come and snatch my husband from me, husband that I just newly married, before they will take him away from me. And Nigerians have been showering her with gifts. Like, I have never seen that level of giving. In the last 2 days, her life has transformed. Like, in fact, like, I just, off air, I told you that she seems to be like the richest woman in
That is the
2024 now.
positive aspect of the social media now.
Yeah.
You understand? It's one of the positive aspects of social media. Thank God for her. She's enjoying the well-deserved publicity and financial benefits. And we must thank God for social media too. Let the social media be directed towards positive things like this and not to terrible things that we are experiencing these days. Some so-called fake journalists have been arrested for blackmailing people. I don't want to mention the name of the blog. Blackmailing people, using their blog to blackmail people, forgetting that somebody who has worked credibly to make his name will not be happy if that name is destroyed. We are enjoying the good part of social media, but there is also the very sad part of it, which is blackmail. Somebody will say something, but because those who are reporting that person want to achieve another purpose, they twist whatever that person has said because they want to make money. That aspect of our social media must be checked. I congratulate the young lady for making so much money through just one publication. I pray that she invests that money because all those things just come like a flash. If that image is not properly managed, look at the lady that cooked for how many days? Have you been hearing of her again? You see, if you want to be a big girl, a star, you need to manage stardom very well. I pray that she will manage that very well. And I commend her for doing that to satisfy her husband. And I encourage other women to take a cue from what she has done.
All right, let's take a look at Mr. and Mrs. this morning. And Mrs. is speaking. She says, "Come and sit on my lap." That's what she will say whenever you are annoying me. You must pay some compensation before I sit. That says a compensation. Oh, you mean sitting allowance?
Women have money. God will save them. I don't have anything else to say than that. Because I have a wife too, who is a woman. I don't want to say that she likes money. All women likes money. So let us pray that this year all the men will make more money to please their women.
And I say big amen to that. That's where we come to an end on the morning show this morning. On Today in the News, remember that you can equally like, share, and subscribe on all our social media platforms showing on your screen. To find out up-to-date stories, go to our website www.vanguardindia.com to find out more. I am Precious Chukudi, and thank you for watching.